Hello everyone. You are watching a fragment of the program Countdown from July 3, 2023. Today is Monday. See the full version on the Patreon resource. And thanks to everyone who becomes our patrons right now. And now to the main topic. Terrorists PMC, Wagner, suspended the recruitment of mercenaries in Russia. This message appeared on PMC resources. Due to the temporary non-participation of PMC, Wagner, in a special military operation and the move to the Republic of Belarus, we are temporarily suspending the work of regional recruitment centers in PMC, Wagner, for a period of 1 month, says the group's Telegram channel, which publishes job announcements at the same time. The message includes a list of call center telephone numbers, which can still be contacted regarding work at the PMC. Prior to that, during the week after Prigozhin's armed rebellion, the PMC continued to recruit mercenaries throughout the country. And the anti-Prigozhin campaign began in the cave itself. Propagandist Dmitry Kiselev in his program directly said, "The traitor is the founder of PMC Wagner," and showed a video series with Prigozhin. That is, it was ordered not to be afraid of the sledgehammer anymore. In all probability, Putin decided to first squeeze the resources and candle factories from the cook, after which he will be dealt with physically. It does not matter that the bald man's rhetoric excluded clear criticism of Putin himself. It was clear that the guy believed in himself and could attempt something much bigger than a simple desire to reach the king. Today he knocks with a sledgehammer on the wall of the bunker, and tomorrow he may hit the skull. The nature of power in the cave is such that the slightest disloyalty is punishable by death, and here there is a whole rebellion. Therefore, Surovikin also disappeared, and several other generals were arrested. The rest sit and shake in the corners. However, as hairy analysts note, the political crisis has not been overcome. All personnel decisions have been put on hold. Prigozhin supports up to 25% of the population, and this will have to be reckoned with. At least, until the moment when the personality of the rebel is not erased from memory. According to closed FSO polls, Prigozhin's support is around 34%, and in Prigozhin's dispute with the Ministry of Defense, 39% rather share the rebels' position. Taking into account the above, the Kremlin chose the tactic of suspension of movement, with an emphasis on promises. Salaries have been promised to the army and security forces, to the miners the end of mobilization, to state corporations new contracts, to large businesses privatization and free circulation of currency cash. But all this does not cancel a new round of the conflict now between the Ministry of Defense and the military officers, who once again accused the Ministry of Defense of unwillingness and inability to provide the army with everything necessary, of unreliable information, and also of requests to shut him up. That is, intra-system discharge did not occur, and the next exacerbation is not far off. Under the Kremlin towers, the terrorist Hurricane screams, foreshadowing an upgrade of turmoil. In the meantime, all military officials, including the propagandist Solovyov, were forbidden to go to the front line, so that they do not inhale gunpowder and do not bring explosive thoughts with them. Watch this story in full on the Patreon resource. Become our patrons right now and see more in this program. In its editorial, the British edition of the Times suggested that the Russian dictator Putin may well give the order to blow up the Zaporizhzhia NPP. The traffic jam at the entrance to the Krymsky Bridge from the Krasnodar region grew to 13 km. Even a warning from Ukraine does not stop the numerous moms rushing to vacation in the occupied Crimea that the vacation may turn out to be too hot. The odious deputy and militant Adam Delimkhanov appeared in a video where he drinks tea with Ramzan Kadyrov. It seems that the legend about Delimkhanov's injury and even death was played out so that he could safely go to Mecca. The infernal civil war begins in the cemeteries of Russia. Some relatives of those who died in the war tear down Wagner's flags on the graves, others cut the tricolor in revenge. On the eve of the NATO summit in Vilnius, which will take place in a week, the Kremlin is again increasing the degree of nuclear blackmail. On July 3, Rossiyskaya Gazeta published the article, The Age of Confrontation, in which Dmitry Medvedev again announced a nuclear war with the West. Against the backdrop of multi-billion-dollar losses, the Russian Post began mass layoffs. The letter in the envelope can be torn. And that's all. See the full version of the program on the Patreon resource. And thanks to everyone who becomes our patrons right now. Hugs to everyone. See you on Thursday. Glory to Ukraine.